and welcome to the Australian Gamer Show. I'm Matt.
And I'm Yug.
Tonight we're going to be talking about Atkinson's exciting retirement.
The Mana Bar opens.
Game Crush.
Nintendo 3DS.
Metroid Other M gameplay.
And iPad games. You seem to struggle over that, man.
Yeah.
You have problems putting words together.
Well, I think Metroid Other M, it's just a clumsy name, and I think I have every right to struggle over it.
I don't think the M stands for someone probably already knows this, but I think the M stands for mother. As in mother brain. So Metroid Other Mother.
Metroid Other M.
Other mother.
And you think they've just got the M on
Like
the end by
brother,
accident?
Other brother from another mother sort of thing, you know, the other mother. No?
Yeah. No, it's not working for me.
All right.
I just think it's a really clumsy name, but we'll see. Maybe it's one of those things that doesn't translate very well into English. Like in Japanese, a lot of things have names that you kind of go,
yeah,
what, really?
It makes complete sense to them, but to us it's like, but like we, you know. So yeah there we go.
I want to start. I think the biggest topic here.
Yeah.
In the international sphere, in the national sphere.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Is the retirement of Mr. Atkinson.
Atkinson.
Yeah, it's an interesting state of affairs. Everyone knows Michael Atkinson. He's the South Australian Attorney General who's been blocking the R rating, and he recently ran against Gamers for Croydon in the South Australian state election. Now, ran against is probably a kind way to put it. Ran over might be another phrasing. And of course, secured his seat. He did, however, get a landslide. Not a landslide against him, but I think 14% swing against him, which is pretty significant.
Okay.
So
do we know how that compares to like last elections when Gamers for Croydon weren't around, or?
Yes, it's different by 14%.
Oh, as in Gamers for Croydon got 14%.
No, Michael Atkinson, 14% swung against him.
And went to Gamers for Croydon.
No.
Oh. I don't really understand politics.
No, clearly not. Or numbers, apparently. 14% of people voted No, not 14% of people who voted for him previously. 14% of the whole.
Yes. So 14% of 100%.
Well, yes, that's what percent means.
Yep.
But anyway, stopped voting for him. So say previously he had
so it doesn't mean
64%, now he had 50%.
Oh, okay.
For example.
Okay.
Now they would be split. They wouldn't all be Gamers for Croydon.
Yeah.
That would
they'd just be someone
that
else.
Was actually, I think, a small. They only got about 1.5%.
Sure.
But that's that, and quite a few went to Liberals.
I think I don't mean to sound overly negative. No one really expected Gamers for Croydon to suddenly be the leading political party in this whole thing. But what I think they did do is actually bring a level of legitimacy to, or actually do something significant that actually got a lot of publicity and probably made a lot of people go, they're actually serious about this topic. It's just a shame they couldn't really be serious about any other topics, but this one in particular.
If nothing else, you notice that any gamer kind of thing that happened around the time, Gamers for Croydon became the go-to respondent.
Which was great.
Which is really good because they got to have a kind of, really, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And a reasonable, moderate voice for gamers who weren't part of the gaming industry, but rather were just gamers.
And I think that's important. This is something we talked about years ago as well. Whenever gamers are represented in the media, a lot of the time the media will just go to some gamer on the street or some random person who plays games whose views do not necessarily represent the whole. What do you think of the R rating? I love killing people and shooting them so their heads explode. Wah!
Way to just kind of trivialize a very large group of people. But yeah, when the only response you can give is "lol fag" or something like that, that's not that helpful.
No, not really.
It is quite bizarre though that what he actually did was he ran in his seat and as
how did he run in his seat if he was sitting down?
He I'm just trying to move on. I just really want to move on.
All right, go.
And he ran and he was successful, but as soon as he was successful, he stepped down, which is kind of like going to a job interview, like applying for a job, going to a job interview, getting the job, and then going, "Look, I don't think I'm really gonna do much. I'm just gonna, I'll kind of do the job, but I'm not gonna really put any effort in."
What it implies to me is that the whole time throughout the election, he knew he'd be leaving.
Yeah,
Which
presumably.
is actually a real bastard thing to
do.
do.
It is a dick move, and I'm surprised. It's not illegal, but I'm sure it's at the very least dishonest, and he's been heavily criticised for
and
it.
surely his supporters and the people that voted for him would kind of feel, hey, that's what?
Well,
what?
he has very few supporters left now. He's copped more abuse than a kid on Hey Dad lately.
Yeah. So anyway, Atkinson retires. See, I'm moving along now.
Oh, why? That was awesome.
I do the lame ones. You do the questionable ones that get us the emails. But yeah. Here's a question though. Do you know much about the guy that's actually replacing Atkinson?
Yes, I think his name is
Rao.
Rao. R-A-U. His last name. I can't remember.
Like the guy from Stargate.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know. I just lost a bunch of nerd cred there. I should remember this, but we do know a couple of things about him. One, apparently he's quite nice. The Gamers for Croydon people have actually met them at an event.
That's a plus, yep.
And he is a supporter of the R18.
Hooray!
The Gamers for Croydon guys met him at an event before he was nominated to this position, and he was saying he finds it just bizarre that there isn't a rating. Good, so whether he meant that to be a matter of his public policy or whether he was saying that at a private function, I'm not sure. I'm interested in that. But
yeah.
We'll see how that goes when the.
I think anyone that's going to step up in that particular Attorney General's position, surely they're going to realise just how much their reputation is going to be on the line in regards to actually being criticised by gamers in regards to their opinion of the R18 rating.
Yeah, granted, but does anyone give a shit? Like, honestly, is it really? Are we really
you know what?
A big force?
Let's be honest here, though. I mean, when people search or look up or want to find out information about Michael Atkinson forever now, for the rest of his life, if you look up Michael Atkinson on the internet, it is going to be filled with anti-Michael Atkinson sentiments of people that were against his views and frustrations. It's the voice of a minority, but it carries a lot of weight,
especially on the internet.
Yeah.
I will concede that, and I think also if you're in a political position like this, it does seem like a bit of an albatross to be carrying around. Like it seems like a point. If everyone wants it, just let the babies have their bottle, whatever. You would think that fighting it would be harder than just letting it go. The only difference between him and even if he doesn't care that much, which he probably doesn't. Even if he doesn't care, he will probably just not have any interest in fighting it, like Atkinson did.
Yep. Well, we'll find out. It should be. Do we know when we'll find out, or is there like a next meeting? Yeah,
there's a meeting in I think June or possibly July. I can't remember. June, I think.
Cool.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Now, the other thing that you probably want to talk about a little bit, I heard you have opened a LAN cafe of some kind.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, isn't it the business you and I have started up, or
what?
I don't know. Everyone just assumes that.
No, actually, people don't seem to do that much. A few people have asked, so obviously they know that I'm not. Maybe because I've made a point of the fact that
every time that it comes up, yes. The Mana Bar opened. Oh, and this is a big apology. Actually, two things I should apologise right now. The fact that this is the first podcast we've done in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Entirely, utterly my fault.
Yeah, very much.
I should clarify though that it's not just the podcast or anything like that. Like I didn't even get a chance to really quit my last job properly either.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even get to go in. I just kind of stopped going. I feel really bad about that and really guilty too. I sent them an email that was very much like, look guys, and I know, and it's not you, it's me. And
a little space.
Maybe we should catch up for coffee in a couple of weeks.
Maybe we should see other designers.
So yeah, the Mana Bar opened 2 weeks ago. Surely anyone that knows anything about me or follows me at all would know this, and it's been nuts. It's been amazingly, hugely successful. I don't want to talk about this too much just because I've been talking about it non-stop for the last 2 weeks. But just suffice to say, it's been more successful than we could have possibly expected or anticipated. It's been more difficult and time-consuming than we could have possibly anticipated. And funny enough, the thing that actually really makes the venue work is the clientele and the people that are coming there. And
could you suck up more?
No,
honestly, seriously.
Actually,
I could see like a brown stain appearing on your nose right now.
No, because what it's done is it's we've actually, I mean, we were, right up until we opened, we were really concerned that because it's free entry, free to play the games. So we were like, oh shit, maybe people are just going to come in, play the games, sit down, play games, leave, not drink. There's our business model kind of fucked.
Yeah.
But they are. Thankfully, there's a lot of other people out there just like me that like to get their booze on and play video games.
Yeah, well, I think that's good, and it's worked out. It's also good to see. Basically, if you want an image of the place, just think of 50 people in one room playing Magic: The Gathering.
Oh, fuck off!
And you've got it. Like it's just sweaty nerds. It's like 90. I think I've seen 2 girls in there like ever,
right?
And everyone else is just like nerds playing games
right.
and talking about poning noobs.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how about you tell the real representation of it?
I have no interest in the truth. I have no stake in this. No, it's a really good venue. It's a really good bar. It's funny when I've been there a few times. Considering I actually walk past it every day, I haven't been there as much as some other people from the forums and so on. Possibly because I've got like a life and shit to do, but it has been a really quite diverse crowd, and that's really good to see. It's interesting because it's subcultures in a way, but a really varied number of subcultures. So you see like a bunch of goth people and indies and hipsters and lots of really different people, and some utter nerds.
Yeah,
just utter nerds.
But there's it literally is from every end of the spectrum. So yeah, there are your stereotypical. There are some big gaming geek nerds that come in there, absolutely. But on the other end of the spectrum, there have been some stunningly, amazingly hot women, gamer women too, that have actually been there, and everything in between. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
What is in between a nerd boy and a gamer girl?
Sexually confused gamer.
Frankensteinian.
I don't know. Something
concoction
crazy.
of some kind.
But it's nice. I feel like we've broken a lot of stereotypes, or at least that were projected onto the bar initially, with people going, gaming bar, it's going to be a fucking sausage fest and stuff. No, it's actually an amazingly good crowd. We've had the owners of other venues, local cocktail bars and bars, have actually come up to our bar, had some drinks, and they look at the crowd and they go, we'd fucking kill for this crowd because they're young. A lot of them are fairly good looking. They drink like fish. And they are polite. It's a small venue, but you know what? We've only had one incident in 2 weeks of being open in the fucking valley, and that one incident was just a drunken fuckwit who gave our security guy wouldn't let in.
Yeah.
That's it.
That wasn't in there.
No, exactly. And we've had one broken glass. One broken glass in a bar where people are swinging around Wiimotes. And that broken glass was me. So,
yeah, well, I have to say, I was actually at the bar last night for Guy's birthday, which I think deserves to be mentioned as well.
Who is this Guy person?
Yug's birthday. Yug's birthday was yesterday.
On April 1st.
April 1st.
It's not hard to forget.
April Fool's Day. Yay.
Yeah.
And
or as I like to call official, now I'd like to call it the Hug the Yug Day.
Yes, Hug the Yug Day.
So, yeah.
And one of the someone just elbowed one of the glasses. You know, it was on the bar, and they turned and knocked it off. Not a, the kind of thing everyone yells at a taxi when you don't actually have to have done anything. But I did notice that it hit the floor and bounced.
Yeah.
Now, I think the reason you haven't had many broken glasses is because you make them out of fucking titanium.
We did go out of our way to make sure the particular glass we bought it's really hard to break it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's very difficult.
It just hit the ground and then went meh. I saw it shrug. I'm sure I saw it shrug. It's like whatever.
Yeah. So okay, there's been some spilled drinks and things like that. But the point is, for a new venue in the valley, that's a small venue where people are drinking a lot and cocktails. It's nuts. You would expect more trouble. You would expect more problems. You would expect more drunken idiots. You would just expect more issues. Certainly Shay did, who's used to working in bars, and there's been hardly any.
You know what I think people underestimate too? The cash of the nerd.
Yeah.
Because like the number of times I saw this like skinny guy go up to the bar and he's like kind of ratty shirt, baggy pants, crap shoes, hair that he clearly doesn't know he's got. Like he's probably not looked in a mirror, and for good reason.
Right.
But he walks up to the bar and he's like, what's good? The cocktails look good. You? All right, I'll get 5 cocktails. And like, he pulls out this giant wad of cash. These guys have good jobs. They have good money. And And that's kind of an interesting crowd. And I think one interesting thing about this particular crowd is that I don't think they go out much. Like, I think it's good to give them a place that...
I think a lot of them aren't probably cocktail drinkers. I think a lot of them come up to the bar, they go, Ocarina of Lime, hell yeah.
Sweet.
And then they drink it and they go, shit, that was good. I'll have another. Or they want to try everything on the cocktail, which is great and it's good fun. Probably the one other thing I want to actually mention about the bar, for anyone that hasn't been, one of the coolest and most exciting things I've noticed is the way people are interacting. As in, you can go to the bar on your own, walk up to a console, grab a game, and I guarantee within half an hour you'll have like 5 or 6 people that you'll be chatting with that you never knew before. I've heard we had actual reporters and all these people actually come in, media and who've come in over the last couple of weeks. There was one great write-up by a girl called Hannah, she came on her own, and she was wandering around. She bought a drink. She went and played guitar hero. She was really bad at it, and then another guy joined her and showed her how to play. And they moved back, and there were 2 people that were really good, and they had a crowd, and they chatted and hung out for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
There was another group that were there who just started playing Smash Brothers against a couple of other people. They all ended up going back to another group in the bar's house, continuing a party, and then coming back the next day.
Nice.
And I like the stories that everyone, you can go there, and it's just something that's not usual in clubs, because you usually go out with your own little social clique. And for girls, if someone comes up and talks to you, it's like, well, are you trying to hit on me, or what's your agenda here? And for guys, well, it's just usually drunken fuckwits or whatever. So you don't really give many other people a chance. But in a venue like this, where we have a common interest, a common ground, or just something interesting that engages people and forces them to interact with each other, it's amazingly easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
So the moral of the story is the girls there are amazingly easy. Was that? Did I?
You know what? I'll go with that. That's fine. There have already been. I've heard that there are 3 people already that are actually now dating girls and guys that have met at the Mana Bar, which is awesome.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I wanted to say 2 quick things while still on the subject of the Mana Bar. One, if you haven't been and are planning on going, make sure you actually dress appropriately. It is a cocktail bar, not a beach volleyball thing.
That's right. Go to our website. There's a dress code there. No shorts, no thongs, but like for guys, long pants, shoes, and a shirt. It's not that hard, guys. For girls, just wear what you wear, and we do allow Pikachu and cosplay as well. Just look at the dress code. It's quite self-explanatory. Yeah,
I saw that. That was quite cool. The other thing I wanted to say was that one of the things that has been there quite consistently has been Rascals.
Oh, yeah.
Local half-brick game, and it fucking goes off. Yeah. It's been incredibly popular, and I don't know, I think some of the half-brick people probably listen to this, so I wanted to give them a bit of a thumbs up for how well they've gone with that.
It's been phenomenal. And for a game that no one really knows about, and people walk into the bar, they don't know what it is, they don't really know how to play it, and it is consistently popular to play and watch. It is perfect for that venue, and it doesn't come out for another 2 goddamn months.
Yeah. I did wonder when it came out. So
like in June now, I think they're saying. So on one side, it's like, well, sorry, everyone has to wait that long. But on the other side, it's like Rascals exclusive to the Mana Bar. It's like it's great for us. And it's a perfect drinking multiplayer game.
Yeah, absolutely, it's great. So let's move on. I want to talk about Game Crush. Seeing as
I have no idea what that is.
You don't have any idea what this is? Okay, that's interesting.
Is it you having a crush on games? No, I don't know.
That was really literal and pointless.
I know. I'm hungover, dude.
I know.
Horribly
He partied quite hard last night.
I got home at 7 a.m. this morning.
Oh, sweet.
And the worst thing is that I've only got a slight hangover right now, which means it's going to get way worse.
It's waiting.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Revenge is a dish best served cold. He's going to think it's over and then bam!
I know. It's right now I'm in that in-between stage where I know I'm still probably a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that amount of alcohol could have left my system this already. But the hangover's starting to come. It's a battle of the hangover.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway, go on.
Game Crush. Game Crush is an interesting thing thought up by some guys. This is all very vague so far. Yeah. What it actually is basically you sign up to the website, the Game Crush website. Just go to gamecrush.com if you're curious, or a fuckwit. And it basically lets you pick a girl from their roster, and you can play games with a real live girl. And she's on webcam, and you play games with her, and afterwards you get to rate her on how hot she is and how she. I don't think it's like how well she plays, but how well she like flirts. And there's 2 settings they can be on, which is flirty or dirty. And they have gamer girls can sign up for this and they can participate. And the
how
highest
many gamer
ranking
girls are actually signing up for this? I wonder.
Well, I don't know. I do know they've been very successful. Their servers fell over when they actually first opened, which could mean that they're very popular. Or could mean they've got shit servers. But the point is they underestimated demand. Now I think.
Do you have to pay and subscribe in order
yes,
to do this?
Yes, sorry.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's actually paid in. I think it's paid in Microsoft points or something like that. No, I don't think that's true. There's like a credit system like Microsoft points.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
And the girl
microtransactions sort of thing.
Yeah, and the girls get a percentage of quite a high percentage of the.
I see.
Yeah, so they actually do make money. From it, and they're paid for their time. And
I'm just curious. The girls that have their webcams on, they're showing themselves and they're flirting. Does that mean that the guys that are playing against them have to have their webcams on as well?
Well, I don't think so. It's not intended to be an equal system. It's
not
intended
really,
to be essentially exploitative.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I think it doesn't really matter how I feel about it. People
what's
will
your
do
opinion on it?
I think it's fucking retarded, and I think it basically turns any gamer girl into a potential sexual object. Which I think is so far from what the industry needs to be doing and so far from what we as gamers and gamer males need to be doing.
I totally agree, but on the flip side, it's obviously extremely successful.
Yeah, but so's pornography. And sorry, not pornography, I'm down with that.
I'm not against that.
So's prostitution and so's, drug abuse. And I'm just listing your favourite things here, so this isn't going well, but you know what I mean?
Keep
like
going
just
until you get to something.
I just don't think it's a good idea. I mean, it's a good idea in that it's commercially successful and it's potentially viable. And quite frankly, I can understand girls doing it.
I think I can see what you're saying. You're saying it's frustrating for the people that gamers that actually are wanting more legitimacy and trying to actually prove that gaming is actually a grown-up medium.
Yeah, exactly. It is very, very juvenile.
Yes.
It reinforces the stereotype that not only are there no girls who play games, but two bad sides of that. One is that there's no girls who play games, and that means all the guys who are playing games are desperate losers who are willing to pay to get some chick to play games with them.
Well, there's obviously enough of them.
Yeah, it would seem that there are. And the other side of it is the I think slightly more insidious notion that any girls who do play games are somehow objectifiable. And that's a natural and reasonable thing to do, and I don't subscribe to that view.
I think that kind of attitude though will only change over time.
Yeah,
I actually think that's in the same way that like your 40 and 50-year-olds that are in power and things like that never grew up with video games, so they don't really understand it. I actually think that a lot of your 30 and 40-year-old sort of gamers and stuff like that have that reinforced stereotype of gamers are all guys. It's boys. Do you know what I mean? Like they grew up
I
in
think
that
you're
kind of
wrong.
thing as well.
Actually,
Okay.
I think the younger generation is just as bad or worse.
Okay,
but we'll see. We'll see whether it changes over time. It'd be good if it does. But the other thing that could be interesting to see
I noticed there's a lot of younger generation girls and guys that are gamers, sort of thing. Yeah. As in, like it seems a lot more equal as opposed to when I was a gamer, when I was like in my teens, where it was a very male-dominated thing.
Yeah, it does seem that way. The other thing that I'm wondering about is whether the fact that they're rated, which for a start, that's a nice bit of objectification, but
totally, yeah.
The fact that they're rated, that makes them more popular. The more popular they are, the higher they go in the list, and the more likely they are to be selected.
Celebrities.
That's the theory.
Yeah.
Now, is that going to encourage them to push the line of appropriate behaviour to the point where they're like flashing on webcams and stuff like that? Because that'll get them. Do you know what I mean? Like if they show some tit, are they going to get higher ranking and therefore more popular and make more money? Because that's crossing a line.
I don't know if this is objectifying. I mean, obviously it's objectifying women, but I mean, take out the gaming aspect of this, and that's just your typical kind of porn site.
It is. It really is, and that's kind of unfortunate.
It's unfortunate that it's been tied in with gaming.
Yeah.
But it's certainly nothing new.
No, it's
not. As a concept, or as women being objectified, or
that
choosing to actually utilise their assets for financial benefits.
That has happened before.
Yeah,
I've heard rumors
a few times on this crazy thing called the interwebs.
And on the world.
The world, yeah.
Let's move on to the Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah, we need to rush through this, unfortunately, but the Nintendo have announced a new portable system called the 3DS, which I think in Japan, I think it was May 2011 or something like that.
Well, I think what they did was they were announcing it, essentially.
There we go.
They announced that it was going to be shown at E3.
Good.
Now, the really interesting thing about the announcement is that it was shown as just this really scrappy press release sent out to a bunch of journalists. We got one as well. And it was just this black and white printed thing with it wasn't very well presented at all. It was very not Nintendo-y. It was very not press releasey.
Okay.
And apparently what happened was that they heard some journalists were going to scoop it. So they sent out a press release to scoop the scoop.
Oh.
And that's why it was so poorly announced. They weren't planning to announce it for a while because the DSi XL has just been released.
This is true. And you don't want to announce a brand new console just when you've released something else that's brand
that being said, Nintendo is very Japan-based, and the DSi XL has been out there for a while, they probably don't give a shit about it as a product.
Still. The other thing is, I mean, okay, there may have been some other gaming journalists out there that were going to scoop the story. Scoop them on what? They've said fuck all, really, about it.
Well, yeah, the kind of big clues are in the name, the Nintendo 3DS. It's apparently very much a DS, but 3D.
No, what they're actually saying, or what they're saying, and I can't remember if this is actually official or just rumors, but they're saying that the technology will be similar to your 3D used in movies, but you won't need glasses.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Right,
that's what I just said. It's 3D.
Oh, well, 3D could be anything. It's like, hey, there's better 3D
but I didn't say, by the way,
capabilities.
it's 3D, but some sort of fucked up retarded
anyway.
3D. No one's really quite sure what technology they're using, and they haven't really announced all that much yet. It's going to be interesting, actually, because the thing is 3D, and it apparently is 3D while just looking at it, and that's pretty cool, even by itself, but how are they going to show this stuff on like game trailers and shit? I don't know. Like when you've got promotional video,
the same way they already show DS games. So actually, last time I dropped into the Good Game offices down in Sydney, I actually saw some of the guys actually filming footage of playing the DS and stuff like that, and they've actually got a camera mounted on a tripod pointing at the DS.
Right, but my point is how are you going to capture the 3D aspect of it, which is the big point.
Well, if you don't need glasses, then the camera will capture the same thing that you'd see. So, I don't know, shoot it on an angle. I don't know.
God, you're a fuckwit. You do realise that it's going to look flat once you put it on the interwebs, right?
Yeah, but
we don't have
if
that
if the camera's looking at the DS, maybe just skewed a little bit on an angle.
You do also realise that 3D works by having two different viewpoints, right?
So, but
you need two eyes to get 3D. Is my point. How many eyes does a camera have?
Well, how does this thing work without the fucking special glass thingies?
It uses probably uses something called lenticular lenses. I think that's the term. Where basically because your eyes are seeing at a slightly different angle, they see a slightly different image.
So it'll only be slightly 3D. I had this vision of like, the 3DS is like a DS, but you actually get these holographic things.
Like a hologram coming out, yeah.
And you can control it like that. And
I suspect not. But we'll see. There's been very little shown, so it'll be interesting to see what they actually do with it.
That would be awesome.
The other two topics that we had we'll probably jump through pretty quickly, which was that there's video available now for Metroid Other M, which I've been extremely interested in because I'm a big fanboy of the Metroid games and all that kind of stuff. And Other M, who's making it? The Dead or Alive guys? The Ninja, Ninja Team Ninja? Team Ninja, I think. Yeah, I think so.
They did
Team Ninja and someone else. It was a collaboration between two people, and I cannot remember.
No, I can't remember. Anyway, the point is, it is I was about to say a radical departure, but then again, I think about the Metroid games, and they used to be 2D side-scrolling platformers, and then there were the 3D interfaces, and this one is actually, it's quite a meld of the two. So
it's hard to define a little bit, to be honest. I almost think it looks like it's got kind of beat-em-up aspects to it. Like, it almost looks...
which is not surprising considering the developer. And sure, it's good for them to shake it up a bit, but I guess after seeing some of the gameplay actual footage, the most interesting thing is the ability to actually, with the Wiimote, switch between your side-scrolling platformer sort of thing, which looks frantic and over-the-top and crazy and fun. and you point the Wiimote at the screen and it goes to the visor mode, the typical Metroid Prime sort of thing, where you can again attack enemies or select things or. I don't know, it's an interesting mix. I'll be interested to see if that viewpoint is actually viable as a combat mechanism compared to just running through and shooting the shit out of people in 2D.
And if it works, switching between them. Yeah, I'm interested in it. What I found more interesting than that aspect was the fact that it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, for a Wii game.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm keen to see more. I love me a bit of Metroid. So
the other quick topic that we've got, we'll probably just run through, is the upcoming release at the end of this month in Australia and in tomorrow in the US of the iPad.
Hey.
Which has quite a range of games coming on it.
I think there were just a few in particular that I wanted to mention that when I looked at some of the lists, I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like Geometry Wars, for example, will be on the iPad.
Of Geometry Wars.
Plants vs. Zombies. Actually, the one really cool one, what was it? Call of Duty World at War Zombies for the iPad.
Now that's on the iPod Touch as well.
Is
on
it?
the iPhone as well. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But the iPad will be a bigger screen, so it may well work better. Command and Conquer Red Alert for the iPad as well. I think that if there's any genre that suits something like a touchscreen, it's
Absolutely,
the strategy genre.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Worms, that's a good one. Oh, did I tell you the story about... Sorry, this is a real quick anecdote.
Okay.
At the Mana Bar, because we're very specific about the lines, we didn't want people to wear shorts or anything like that. There was a guy in line that was wearing shorts and thongs. Oh, no, shorts and sneakers. And Gabe, our security guard, went up to him and said, sorry, dude, you're not going to be able to get in. He's like, no, I'm in cosplay. He's like, well, no, what do you mean? He's like, no, hold on a second. He pulled out of his backpack a pink bed sheet, and pulled out a homemade bazooka, wrapped himself in the pink bed sheet, and was like, I'm a worm.
Wow.
To which Gabe was like, you're in.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry. iPad stuff, yeah. Command & Conquer, yeah, Red Alert. I like that there's a lot of, your typical games that we all know, like Command & Conquer, Worms, Civilization, Flight Control as well, which is the popular one actually made here in Australia, is getting a iPad version, which will be cool.
Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in the iPad itself as a product. I think it's interesting to have another platform for games, and I think that alone deserves a mention. No, it'll be interesting to see how it does here. And that's pretty much all I got to say on that.
Fair enough. Wow, that was really dry.
Yeah, whatever. Sometimes we have to talk about games, dude. We can't always talk about your fucking bar.
Well, why not? Actually, we probably won't now. It's open.
Now it's open. People can go and find out for themselves.
I'm glad. I'm just glad that I don't... Because so long, people have been like, oh, how's things with your bar?
You
know what? Just don't ask at the moment. It's been 2 fucking years. Just
wait
till it's open.
The answers aren't necessarily helpful. That it's bound up in red tape because of this, and I've got to get Form 432A.
Blah, 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 having issues.
That's not fun. That's
no,
not
not
you want
really.
to say, fucking awesome, it's nearly done.
That's right.
Thursday.
Yeah. I should have just said that every week.
Yeah, every week.
Years. Oh, when's your bar opening up? This Thursday.
Opening night.
Woo!
Be there.
Yeah, don't miss it. It'll be crazy, off the hook, and dark. Anyway, that's it.
All right.
That's all we got.
I think we should bug it on. Oh, one other thing. I just wanted to point out some good April Fool's Day jokes done by. I think File Planets was quite nice. They actually had a demo of Duke Nukem Forever to download. Blizzard, however, always pull out some really good shit. They actually had a few this year. They had a Blizzard official Diablo 3 blanket. Like Gamer Extreme blanket for extreme gaming while cold. And they had one that I thought was pretty good, which was for World of Warcraft, which was the something like experienced potential equipment something or other, and it the acronym translated to EPEAN. And it was basically a way, essentially your gear and its quality was represented by a bar above your head. And the bar above your head, how long the bar was is how awesome you were. And it was,
nice.
Like you get, how you roll on loot and stuff.
Yep.
You get, if your EPEAN is bigger, you get better roll, like you get a bigger number and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I thought that was kind of funny.
We usually do an April Fool's thing on the site every year. I think last year we actually registered AustralianGamespot.com
I think we did.
And changed the entire website
to a GameSpot branded one.
GameSpot. I think it was Kane and Lynch branding everywhere. So
yeah, that's right.
It was fun and games.
Did you actually see what we were going to do this year? What the guys were going to do this year?
Yeah, we actually wanted to make a post, and I was actually I read. I didn't get a chance to reply, but
no, I noticed that.
I thought that would be hilarious, but I actually thought too many people would believe it. I was going to make a post saying, unfortunately, with my Mana Bar commitments, I'm going to have to step down from Australian Gamer.
Yeah, which probably would have been quite convincing. And to be honest, I kind of thought you had. So
hey, I'm here. I'm back.
That was one option. Someone else wanted to basically send an email fucking with the publishers, and I'm like, no, let's not do that.
Yeah, that was Jay, wasn't it? What do you want to say?
I can't remember.
Can't remember.
Some shit.
Yeah, something crazy. But yeah, anyway, look, thank you everyone for tuning in. I promise we will probably try and be reliable unreliably for a while.
Yep.
From now on.
We will indeed. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for putting up with our not doing it last week.
Cheers guys. See you.
See you. Bye.